Hi there, welcome to Colors. I'm Erica. On today's Weekend Whip, I'm going to be continuing and working on a page that I had been working on last Weekend Whip video in Mythomorphia by Kerby Rosanes. I'm going to take a sip of my tea here and we'll get started. Okay, so I'm going to be working on this dragon, or what is this? Hydra. That's what it is, this Hydra page. So maybe working on some of the dragon bits, I think, today. And yeah, I'm excited to get some work done on this. So let me grab the pencils that I think I'm going to need, and I will be right back and we'll get started. All right, so I got my pencils. We're just going to work on a little bit of their dragon bodies today. I think last time I just worked on the water down here, and then while I was editing and stuff, I worked on a couple of these dragon heads, and whited out the rest of like the wave tops and stuff. I think this is going to be so cool when it's done. I love these big pages like this. They intimidate the heck out of me for sure, but once you get working on them, they're just like so cool and fun. Okay. So this head I did use different pencils on, which were my polychromos, but I don't have those handy. So I'm just going to use the same colors that I used for these guys. And we'll go from there, and hopefully it'll work okay and it doesn't completely jack things up, but we'll see. So hi everybody. I hope that you have had a wonderful week. I am back from vacation. I went to Arizona for the past week, and I had so much fun. It was just a vacation with my husband and we did like everything that we could possibly do while we were there, I think. We bought one of those national park passes and then just hit every national park and monument that we could hit in the northern part of the state. We didn't go to southern Arizona, but it was still just mind-blowing, the difference in landscapes, just like from driving an hour in one direction. The difference in the landscape was just astonishing. Being from the Midwest, it's lots of trees and hills, and I've seen some mountains here and there because we'll go down to the Great Smoky Mountains or whatever on occasion for like vacations or different things like that. But it's like in Arizona it's just so different than here, and it was so cool to just experience that. We had so much fun. I'll do a little bit of a slideshow or whatever at the end of this video, and maybe talk to you about a couple of places that we went and tell you, different things about it. I don't know. I'm not like a lifestyle kind of blogger person, so the videos are really not great. But it kind of gives you an idea of what we were experiencing. You can kind of see it a little bit better. Okay. And then I just broke the tip of that. I am going to use this chartreuse on the edges of the spines here, just to kind of create a little bit of interest there. And then I'll use this color kind of sparingly throughout the body as well. Yeah, okay, I need to grab some. So I started this with, again, polychromos grays, but I think that I can do my Prismacolor grays and be okay. So there were a couple of like warm grays, I think, So we'll do some of those and a little bit of black as well. But then I also use like this highlight color with like the, it's like a cool lemon color, but I think I'll use this yellow chartreuse and just kind of just go ahead and add a little bit of that to the outside edge, and then I'll blend the grays into that. I think that's going to be the best way. Anyway, so yeah, we just had a really great time. So much fun. Really needed the vacation just like for just the two of us. I think that just made it wonderful. I love my kids. I love my kids. But it, like I said, I think I mentioned this, you know, I was really looking forward to the fact that I didn't have to like be in charge of anybody but myself, really. Like my husband could take care of himself, and, you know, he was the one that was like planning a lot of the stuff. And it was just really, really nice because I didn't have to overly worry about anything. It just kind of was, you know, whatever we woke up and felt like doing that day. It's kind of what we did, and it was wonderful. Okay, I'm not sure how I feel about this, but this guy's gonna have a black chest for sure. I feel like the shadows should be a little darker between these sections, but we'll see. Let's start with the black and see what that does. So yeah, well, you know what? I'll just tell you a little bit about the trip, and then maybe just pop some photos in here and there so you can see that instead of the slideshow, because I don't know, just the term slideshow kind of makes me I don't know, have like weird flashbacks to being forced to watch somebody's pictures. But at least in this one I'll be coloring as well, and it'll just be photos popping up every once in a while. Anyway, so the first day we stayed mostly in Flagstaff. I'll just put that, have that kind of disclaimer out there. And then we kind of made that our home base and traveled from there. We flew into Flagstaff too, which is just a tiny little airport. It's so little, but it was cute. And it was the first time I'd ever gotten off a plane using the stairs that they push up to the plane instead of like one of those gates that they extend into the plane, you know? So that was an experience. And then we got there and we went to a town called Winslow, Arizona. And that was basically just because there's an Eagles. So the Eagles are if you aren't familiar with the Eagles, you should be. But they're a band, and they have this song that mentions standing on the corner in Winslow, Arizona. And so I just kind of wanted to see that little place. And plus my parents, when they first got married, lived out that way. They lived in this little town called Holbrook, which is just outside of Winslow, and they spent some time in Winslow as well, and some of the areas around there. So I went and I wanted to see kind of where they were when they first got married. And my dad was stationed at an Air Force base there, and so they were just little babies stationed out there all by themselves, but they had fun. And so I was asking my parents for different places that they thought we should go, and they were just like, well, we can't remember anything because it was so long ago. And I was like, bro, thanks for making me feel old. But it was really cool, really nice little area they had set up, you know, in memory of in honor of the song, I guess. And it was neat to see, you know, where they had started. And then we went to right outside of Holbrook. There is a national park. It's the Petrified Forest National Park. And it also contains parts of the Painted Desert. So we went around that national park and just saw things. Like, we were convinced we had been transported to another world. Like, it didn't look like anything we had ever seen. And yeah, it was just amazing. So amazing. And we just kept looking around at everything, and we're like, how did we get here? And that sentiment through the whole week just didn't stop. Like, we just kept being amazed over and over again by our surroundings. But yeah, it was really cool. And then we headed back to Flagstaff, and we went to this, another national monument. So this is the Walnut Canyon National Monument. And we went through these old Pueblo houses that were built into a cliffside. And of course we had to climb down into a canyon to see the cliffs, and we were able to, or to see the dwellings, and we were able to kind of walk through and imagine what it, might have been like in times of yore. They had so much information and so many cool things, and just thinking about how these people must have survived and lived at that time. It's just, we were just, like I said, constantly boggled our mind. Like, the whole time we were just like, holy cow, where are we? What's going on? How did they do this? All of that. So yeah, it was pretty amazing. And then we ended up going to the Grand Canyon for a couple of days. We got to stay in the park. There's several different lodges that you can stay in at the Grand Canyon, and we stayed in a really nice one. Just was, like a normal hotel, but it was really nice because we had easy access to the park, so we didn't have to like drive a ways to get into the park. We didn't have to fight traffic. The first day we were there, it took us about, I want to say, a half an hour to even get into the park, because there was a lot of people trying to get in. And then we read up that, the Grand Canyon is one of the most visited national parks, and yeah, that it's usually super busy, but we went at a time where it wasn't as busy, so that was good planning on our part. But yeah, it was just amazing. And of course, the first view of the Grand Canyon, just kind of, again, like, just in awe of how huge it was. And it just went on and on and on forever, and you could see forever. That was the other thing that was just kind of mind-boggling. We could see things that were like hundreds of miles away. Or over 100 miles away, because there was this, there's a mountain range that's pretty big, and it's around Flagstaff, which is pretty far from the Grand Canyon. So we were able to see that, and a few of the other different things that we could see off in the distance. It was kind of crazy how much we could see. Okay, I don't know if I love the yellow, so I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to make it a little bit more green. I'm going to try not to pull too much of the black into this green, because I don't really want to mix it. I don't want to muddy it too much. I'm going to check the tip of my pencil, make sure that I don't have too much on there. I just feel like the green makes a little bit more sense with how the, you know, what am I trying to say? Goodness. Green would make more sense with like the reflections coming off of the other heads and stuff, on the other bodies. Not necessarily. It could have been a blue too, like a blue reflection up into the underside of the belly. I'm going to try to use a colorless blender here to kind of blend that out a little bit more, because I'm seeing a little more white than I want to see. Okay, so, and then while we're at the Grand Canyon, of course, you need to try to see either the sunset or the sunrise, and we woke up one morning, thankfully, because of the time difference, it's 3 hours behind where we normally are, so we were waking up like super early every day and ready to go like really early, so we were up and ready to go when the sun came up, and went and saw the sunrise over the Grand Canyon, which was amazing. Yeah, it was just wonderful. Definitely recommend, if you ever get the chance to come to the States, if you're not from here, or even if you are from here and you still have never been, go check out the Grand Canyon, because it's just worth it. Yeah, and then what else did we see? I was having trouble remembering actually what we had done right after we had done it, so if I can't remember everything, I might like add in bits and pieces here, but I think I remember everything now. But we went to a couple of Pueblo sites. So there was one called Montezuma's Castle, which we read like a lot, both of the names of these next two places, they kind of named them before they realized that it was wrong, but then the name stuck, so they just kept the same name, and I was just like, okay, I guess that's okay. I don't love the black, but it's kind of already done, isn't it? How else could I, trying to think. Maybe I should bring some black into some of the dragon's heads a little bit more. Trying to tie that black in just a little bit more. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that. But yeah, so then we went to these other two really cool sites and saw some ancient Native American building sites. Like I said, one of them was Montezuma's Castle. The other one was called Tuzagut or something like that. I don't want to pronounce it wrong. But this was like an old, it was basically like a trading post or like a stop, like almost like a rest stop area, but people lived there as well. But it was like a center for like trading and all kinds of stuff. It was built on this hill in the middle of this floodplain, and super fertile like soil and everything. And then they just left. And of course, you know, nobody knows exactly why, because it's not written down anywhere, but a lot of the tribes around there, some of them, you know, were suspecting that it was just, some scientists were saying, you know, it was probably due to disease, and there had been a drought, and so the river wasn't flooding as much, so the soil probably wasn't getting replenished. So that's like the archaeologists and the scientists' belief, and the belief of the tribes, I guess, around there is that it was just time for them to go, that most of these dwellings that they built were never meant to be permanent. That a lot of the times these tribes were tribes that moved around quite a bit, and that they just kind of felt that it was time for them to go. And so that's the belief of like the tribes around there. So but it was really cool. It was just amazing, again, to see, what, and imagine what people had been living with back then. And then the last day that we were there, we went to Red Rock State Park, and that was pretty awesome as well. Oh, I forgot one. We did go, so after we left the Grand Canyon, we went to see, there is a volcano that erupted there a long time ago, like way long ago. But the lava field is still all there. So there's just this giant swath of lava rocks that go on for like forever. And it's, again, one of those landscapes where you're just like, what? How did I get transported into another world? It was so weird and so quiet. That was the thing that struck both my husband and I so much, that it was almost silent. Like, there were a few birds, but there was not very much, noise from like wildlife, and you couldn't hear, anything from like highways or anything like that. But it was another national monument, but it's called Sunset Crater, and it was just crazy. It was so crazy. That's all we kept saying was, oh my gosh, this is crazy, over and over and over. That seemed to be our repeating theme the whole trip. But yeah, if I can go back someday, I will definitely go back. If I could take anybody else and have them experience that, like if I can take the kiddos one day, or, give them the means to go see that, I definitely would do that. It's a place that I would definitely go back to. It was just amazing. But yeah, and then on our last day, we drove through Sedona and stopped at the Red Rock State Park, and went on hikes and saw some of the really cool rock formations that are popular around Sedona. And yeah, just amazing. Got a lot of good pictures. The ones that I've been posting, I'm sure, there's way more than I'm actually posting, because if I tried to post all of them, it would just take too long. It would take way too long. So the ones that I'm sharing are probably just a few of my favorite ones that we got. We made sure to take a lot of pictures, take some of the ones that you have to get, where you get like the signs of the park, and lots of selfies together and things like that. So but it was just so fun. It was so fun, and I feel like my husband and I just really were able to just be together and connect, and it was amazing. Oh, I need the blacks for this. I almost started coloring this green. I was like, that doesn't feel right. So yeah, it was just a great vacation. And I did miss coloring. I did color a tiny little bit on the vacation, not very much at all. But I did a little bit, and then I'm going to have a page actually that's been inspired by a lot of the colors and stuff that I saw out there. And yeah, so I'm excited to do that, to get that page finished up. And then, since we got back, I've just kind of I haven't had a lot of time for coloring, really, because when you get back from vacation, it's just like, it feels like you have to catch up on everything. So that's kind of what I've been feeling like, you know, I'm catching up on housework, I'm catching up on laundry, I'm catching up on things for the kids. It just, yeah, it seemed like it was going to be a lot. So I've been really focusing on trying to do all that stuff and have not had a lot of time to color. So this is really the first time I've sat down to color since I've been home. So I'm glad I got to sit here with you guys for a little bit. I do have more stuff I have to do today, so I don't know how much more coloring I'll be able to do today, but hopefully I'll be able to get a little bit more done. I do want to get, so while I was gone, I did release one video, the first part in my color along for my Johanna Basford monthly color along. Now this is actually the page I picked out for last month, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to get two more, or two of them done this month so that I can be back on schedule. We'll have to wait and see on that. But I really do want to try. Okay. Something feels weird down here, and I don't know if it's just because of the water or I don't know. All right, so what do we think of that black? Yeah, I still don't love it. I wonder if I could add in some green on this. Let's see if that'll change things. So I'm just adding the grass green right on top of the grays. Now, since I use my blender, this might not really do a whole lot. It changes it a little bit. Yeah, I really like the first part of the Johanna color along that I have out. I love the way that the background turned out. It's really cool. So if you guys haven't checked that out yet, please do. I'm using oil pastels and kind of just playing around and doing a really neat kind of background. So yeah, so the first part of that video is out. I'm gonna work on getting the second part out as soon as I can. But like I said, I've been really trying to catch up on stuff around the house since I got home. And then my husband had bought those symphony tickets it was like a package of symphony tickets that he got me for Christmas. And of course, one of the shows was last night. So we got home Wednesday, and then I had Thursday to do some stuff. We got home really, really late on Wednesday, because we had a delay. Our flight was delayed coming home like 3 hours. So we were just hanging out at the airport in Phoenix for 3 hours, which was not the most fun, but we finally got home. So, yeah, I have had Thursday and a little bit of Friday. Thursday I was up and doing stuff and pretty functional. Got a lot of stuff done. Still, lots to do. But Friday I woke up and I took my kiddo to school, and I came back and I had to lay back down because I could barely keep my eyes open. I lay back down and I slept almost the whole day. And I woke up and I was like, I talked to my husband because he was working from home, and I said, "Why didn't you wake me up?" He's like, "I just think that you needed to sleep." And I was like, I guess. My goodness, it was like I was out of it, completely out of it. So yeah, so then I didn't have a whole lot of time on Friday, because then Friday night we had a symphony thing to go to, which was amazing because it was Star Wars, so it was The Force Awakens. You got to watch the movie, and then the symphony played the music live while you were watching the movie, which was, it was awesome. I love the Star Wars music anyway. John Williams is brilliant. But hearing it live and just, you could feel the music, and It was so cool. Okay, that is not what I meant to do. I am out of practice with talking and coloring at the same time. Holy moly. Okay, so we want this dark green in all of the darker areas. So you can kind of see how I colored the other heads. It's basically the same method every time. I use the darkest green that I have in like the super dark areas, or anywhere where I want there to be the darkest bit. And you can usually tell what's supposed to be the darkest because Kerby adds in the hatching marks. And you can just add in your dark colors right wherever he's got the most shadows drawn in. So yeah, so the symphony was awesome. And we got home again late last night, and then I was just exhausted still, so I went to bed. And then now I'm up, and I've gone to the grocery store so far this morning and had one cup of tea, and this is my second cup of tea. So I'm going to be all caffeined up. So hopefully I have some energy to get some other things done today. That's my goal. I think I don't know if it's just me, but like when I get back from vacation after spending time in like super clean hotel rooms and stuff, I come back to my house and I look around, I'm like, oh man, I really need to do some cleaning here or some cleaning there. You know, my house isn't like a pigsty, but you know, right now there's dust on my entertainment center, and there's, you know, I need to vacuum, and like all of these different things. I need to mop the kitchen floor, and just all these things that I didn't really do before I left. And it's now a week after that, and my kids have been just everywhere. So yeah, it really needs to get done now. And I'm seeing everything because I've been, like I said, in such clean environments all week that when I get back, it's just even more apparent. Because I think for a while, like, you just kind of get used to it. You just kind of live with some of the day-to-day messes that families make, that living life makes, you know. And then when you come back from vacation, you're just like, holy cow. But I don't know, maybe it's just me. But I feel like I need to scour my house right now. So I am going to be in cleaning mode after I do some editing on this video with you guys. So the fact that I have the green down already with my Neo colors is just going to make this go so much faster, because I just have to add in a few little shadow areas and some highlights, and it's good to go. Okay, there's a section here that I don't know if it's the body of I think this part is this guy. But I think that part back there is that guy. Kind of hard to tell. So let's see. So, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of talking about my vacation, but really that's what I've been up to for the last week. It's just been exactly what I needed. I think it was a nice refresh for my mind too. And I just feel like almost like a whole new person. Now, I don't know how long that'll last. And I know sometimes some people get like depressed when they come back from vacation, but so far, fingers crossed, that it's not been the case for me. I'm feeling good and feeling excited to get some stuff done around my house. It's gonna be such a cool page. Okay, so let me finish up. I'm gonna go ahead and add in the pink and the red to the mouth here. I think I just used regular pink, and then I might have done some raspberry. No, I did not use the raspberry. I just used Scarlet Lake. That's what I did. Okay, so I used the pink on the tongue. I think I used a light pink to blend it too. So anywhere where there's like lighter areas open, I just kind of left that open so I could use the light pink in there. To blend things a little bit more. Then I used a little bit of the red after I did the pink so that it does a little bit of a shading effect there. Okay, and then I feel like a little bit of this would probably be pink. I'm also going to add in a little bit of black though. And then I probably will do a little bit with white Posca because I kind of highlighted their teeth a little bit. Okay, that works. Let's do this little bit right in here. I'm going to color that green. Add in the shadowed bits. Maybe a little bit of black underneath that to kind of make it stand out separately. It is kind of hard when all of them are the same color. Hard to make them stand out a little bit. I feel like that was maybe too dark. Let's try this green and maybe that'll blend it out a little. I'm just kind of going back in and finding places that I don't really like exactly what happened there and just trying to fill things back in. Okay, and then I used the Scarlet on the eyes, just made their eyes red. Then I use a little Posca pen, which I don't have down here at the moment, so I can't really do that. I wonder if this guy would work. I do have this Artistro. I just put a little dot on there, and then I kind of, anywhere where it looks like there might be teeth, I just kind of added a little bit of white onto it. I know some of it might not even be teeth, that it might be like part of the jaw or something, but it just looks like teeth, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So then you've got spots around here that are like saliva coming off of the tongue. And that's going to be, I'm going to have to wait until I color in this chest to come back through and do that part. But yeah. So that's going to be it for me today. I know I didn't get a whole lot done, but I think it's going to look really cool when it's all done. I don't hate the black. Don't love it a lot, but I don't hate it. Okay, so yeah, that's it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed some of the pictures that popped up on the screen and didn't mind me talking too much about my vacation. It's really, you know, we don't get to go a lot of places, just the two of us, so it was really special, and I appreciate you guys listening to me talk about it. Yeah. All right, thank you so much for being here, and until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.